These last 7 years have been a roller coaster.
We've been through a lot, the losses, the expectations. To get to this point with JT,
To be able to say we did it, we came together and we won a championship.
and that was the most important thing.
Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, doing it together, doing it as one, it makes it so much sweeter.
How many years was it relentless? Break them up. They can't play together. That is laid to rest.
They have become a dynamic duo and ready to be a championship duo. It's over. Banner number 18 has been secured. The Celtics are NBA champions. We did it!
And I share this with my partner in crime, Jayson Tatum. He was with me the whole way.
Ooh-wee, the Celtics clinch a record 18th NBA title. Jayson Tatum, what a game. Bye-bye, critics. 31 points, 11 assists, 8 rebounds. How about Jaylen Brown scored 21 as Boston topped Dallas 106-88 in Game 5. Champion Tatum, Finals MVP Jaylen Brown at the mic.
It could have gone to anybody. It could have gone to Jayson. Jayson, I can't talk enough about his selflessness. You know, I can't talk enough about his attitude and his just how he approached not just this series or the finals, but just the playoffs in general. And we did it together as a team, and that was the most important thing.
How long do you think it'll take to hit you? This is a career-defining accomplishment.
Mm-hmm. Say that again, please.
A career-defining accomplishment.
Please say that again. These last 7 years have been a roller coaster. Up and down. I had to listen to all the that people said about me. And tonight, it was worth it. Oh my God.
I think Jayson Tatum is top 5 in terms of the way he impacts the game, the way he impacts winning.
We might have to write a list.
And all the ways that he's top
No. Like, who are our top 5s?
Oh, we might actually have to make a list.
Have to
yes,
put a list
but
together.
my immediate reaction is yes for Jayson Tatum. He's been on the All-NBA team. The question was, could he perform in the finals? The question was never, who is he in the regular season? The question was, can he lead his team to an NBA championship? And he's done that. He is a champion. And then when it comes to Jaylen Brown, I know this isn't an exact category, but to me, he is one of the best. I would maybe put Anthony Edwards in the conversation but he is right there with Anthony Edwards in terms of two-way guards. Name a better two-way guard than Anthony Edwards and then Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, to me, doesn't get enough credit for the way he plays on both sides of the ball. Those two players are at the top, and Jayson Tatum is top 5 for me.
The Celtics have an incredibly effective modern team, and Jayson Tatum is a great modern player. When you look at what defines top 5, it's not always what is most attractive in today's game. Like the way certain guys, like you would never say when James Harden was winning the MVP, you would never say that that's a modern player. You wouldn't say Luka Doncic is a modern player necessarily the way he plays, but he's a top 5 player. What I think Tatum's got going for him is what he does is perfect for today's game. So I don't think I'd put him in my top 5. I did not vote him first team All-NBA. I put him on second team.
Yeah.
I put Jalen Brunson ahead of him. He was sort of 6th for me. And, there's some guys who didn't qualify this year. Like, for example, Joel Embiid missed too many games to qualify. I certainly see him as a top 5 player. I did have Jaylen Brown on my All-NBA team. I think the two of them are up there. And I think it's almost, insult's the wrong word, but it's almost discounting how good the Celtics are as a team to say one of them's got to be in the top 5. The reason they're so great is because of their collective. And you look at the way they play at both ends, for sure. Everybody they put on the court can shoot the 3. Everybody they can put on the court can hold their own defensively. I know that Porzingis gets put into spots where he may struggle in one-on-one matchups, but he more than makes up for it with the other stuff that he does. They have a really good overall team collective mindset. So I think, no, my answer to that question is no, but that's not an insult to Jayson Tatum.
I'm going to need your top 5 list momentarily, but I will let Steven get it.
Question.
Do you put Jayson Tatum ahead of Luka Doncic? I know nobody would have before game 3.
Yeah.
So there's two ends of the court.
Right. I'm just asking.
And if you're going to win at the highest level,
I'm just asking a question.
You got to play both ends of the court.
I'm just asking a question. I have Jayson Tatum in my top 5.
Can I have your top 5?
I have Jaylen Brown in my top 15. I don't believe there's 15 players in the NBA that should be placed ahead
I would
of
agree with
Jaylen
you
Brown.
there. I agree
Okay,
with
so
you
you
there.
got
That's
Luka.
why I created a different
Luka and
category.
Tatum,
That was my
that's
top
two.
15.
Well,
Your
listen,
three others.
I'm with Wendy. I've often questioned Luka on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, without question. Defensively, I've always had that question mark. You got to put Giannis Antetokounmpo up in there.
Okay, we got Giannis.
You got to put Nikola Jokic up in there. You just can't leave him off. He's just too efficient.
Right
He's
now,
too
everyone's
great.
international except for Tatum.
That's right. You can't. The only reason Embiid ain't in there is because of his injuries. That's it.
International.
If it were not for Embiid's injuries, Embiid would be in there. And
All right, Luka, Tatum, Giannis, Jokic,
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander,
Embiid.
who is also not an American.
Wow.
right.
We're soft in America.
By the way, and let me say this too. I don't like the fact that he got swept. It's not a good thing. And I don't like the fact that he isolates himself, from his teammates, gets frustrated from the coach and stuff like that. But we can't sit here and say that there's 5 dudes on the planet that are better than Kevin Durant. We can say there's 5 dudes we'd want because of the other intangibles that come with it, like, being receptive to your teammates, ingratiating yourself with guys like that instead of living in your own world or whatever. But Kevin Durant is all world. And by the way, even approaching age 40, so is LeBron, when you think about what he brings to the table. Now, and last but not least, no, I wouldn't put, because Steph Curry, obviously, he tries, but still a defensive liability. We've seen when you don't have Klay on the court, when you don't have Draymond on the court, how he struggles. You got to take all of those things into consideration. But this is the greatest shooter God ever created.
But how much of a factor?
And he's good for
how much of a
25,
factor is
26
defense into this top 5 list? Because right now I've got Luka, Tatum, Giannis, Jokic. You mentioned KD, LeBron, and said Embiid's on the outside due to injury. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 at 6. Would you swap anyone else out?
Luka, I would have Luka at 6th.
Anthony Edwards is coming.
Yeah.
This brother, I got him top 10. Now.
Okay.
Now.
I got Luka as in my top 3.
Okay.
So if you were going to start a team,
Where's your list?
you would start a team with Luka. You would build a team around Luka. Because to me, when I think of top 5, I think of who's the first person I would build a team with, the second person I would build. You would build a team with Luka?
I would, but I really got to have him mature. I would, though. I would. He's really, really special.
If he could overcome himself in those things you talked about earlier.
The reason I am frustrated with Luka is because his deficiencies are controllable.
Mm-hmm.
Joel Embiid can't control that he's got injuries.
Yeah.
He just can't control it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not his fault. Giannis has had injuries. Giannis is never going to be a great shooter. He is not built with the ability to shoot. He can take 1,000 threes a day, 1,500 Karl Towns plan. He's not going to be a great three-point shooter. Luka's deficiencies are under his control. And that, number 1, frustrates me, and number 2, makes me believe that he can become the number 1 player in the league.
Yeah.
He's got great size. He has incredible intelligence. He is maybe the second greatest passer as a wing as I've ever seen. I guess he's a point guard, but he's a wing and he's 6'8". He and LeBron are the 2 greatest passers on that size I've ever seen. The way Luka throws a pass, the mastery is, this isn't talked about enough. The mastery of his passing is unbelievable. And he has the ability to make himself number 1. And that's why I would take him. Would I use my number 1 draft pick on him? No, I'd probably take Jokic, my number 1 draft pick. But I think Luka's in the top 3. And that's because and the reason I've been critical of him is because I hold him to a standard that he should be there.
I will tell y'all, it's just fantasy. It's just a fantasy, I guess. When I watch Anthony Edwards play, I have to confess to you that even with the greatness of Luke and others, while I would lean towards what you said, it's hard for me to imagine me passing up on that brother. He plays on both ends of the court. He accepts tough defensive assignments. His athleticism is off the charts. He's vastly improved his jump shot. His conditioning was addressed this past offseason. got an NBA body, strength, and shape. Go look at him from a couple of years
off
ago.
the charts.
His competitiveness is off the charts. But go look at him from a couple of years ago where he was a bit puffy. That's not the case. This brother, Anthony Edwards.
Okay, so you're all saying, just to wrap this up, you're all saying Tatum is currently top 5 in the NBA.
Not me.
Okay, except for you. You're not there. And Jaylen Brown is top.
He's on my All-NBA team,
He's a champion now. I got to put him top 5.
I just think when you're talking about Luka and you're talking about Ant, both players that I think are wonderful and amazing, you're both talking about what they could be. Like, I think top 5 is who they are, like who they have shown.
You feel like we're looking
be,
at potential.
who they are and what they've done. And shout out to my therapist. Maybe I'm just really good at staying in the present moment.
Yeah.
Laura would be so proud.
I'm
Love
impressed,
you, girl.
yeah.
But I think top 5 is who you are and what you've already done, not what you could do.
Today is a day to celebrate Jayson Tatum. I ain't not saying a bad word about him. So
There's nothing bad to say about it. I'm just thinking about what he brings to the table in terms of averaging 27 a game. I take into account the teammates that he's played with, how superior the Boston Celtics team were, but I also think that he's not far off from the level of consistency he has been putting on display. I mean, I can't ignore that.
You gotta go. You get to relax.